Hi folks, on this episode of Hitting Mahogany we are going to do a drink that is a cousin of the Negroni. It's the Boulevardier and it's basically just swapping out the base spirit from gin to something else, and I can't imagine what that would actually be, but there's a hint right there. Anyway, depending on the timing when you're actually reading on this, which one actually came first, the Boulevardier or the Negroni, it just depends where you're actually looking at some of the background information there. Anyway, this one was Harry MacElhone, an expat from Scotland who was actually born in Dundee, bartender, went over to Paris, and actually he bought Harry's bar, and it's what is it, Harry's Bar of New York and Paris or something like that. I'm trying to remember the name there. But he was actually very famous for coming up with several recipes of cocktails, and the Boulevardier is one of them. And he, at that time, cited that it was the fact that it was a gentleman by the name of, I think it's Gwynne Erskine, I'm trying to remember because I was just doing some studying on that one. Gwynne Erskine, who was a writer who was based in the US and then became an expatriated over to France, Paris, and actually opened a magazine there, started a magazine there called the Boulevardier, and apparently he frequented the Harry's Bar, and this is how the name Boulevardier got hooked to this drink, and the fact that Harry actually came up and invented this drink here. So what we're actually doing, and that's it, you know, it's a great bit of history there, how some people can actually derive some of the drinks. I think if I was in that position, maybe on that side of the bar just now, it would probably be just one drink but plenty of it, you know. Nothing really there to actually invent apart from a bit of binge drinking, unfortunately, but we always want to drink responsibly, remember that. Okay, this one. We're swapping out the gin for bourbon. You can use rye as well for the Boulevardier. This one I'm actually going to use Eagle Rare. This is actually a really nice bourbon. It's got great vanilla tones in it. It's just an excellent flavoured bourbon. So if you can get your hands on it, drink it, and then just drink it straight as well. You know what? I can't believe it. No jigger. Give me a second. And now I've got a jigger. Okay, so into a mixing glass. Now you can try these, you can try the different ratios yourself, but what I'm going to do for this one is I'm actually going to use 1.5 of the bourbon to start with. Now, if you've seen the Negroni video as well, very simple, equal parts gin, campari and vermouth. So this one, we're going to use 1.5 parts of the, Campari crystallizes on the lid here, makes it difficult. 1.5 ounces of the bourbon. We're going to use 1 ounce of our lovely Campari. Adds a great colour to so many drinks, this one. And as I said before, you know, it's bitter. It's a bitter drink, but you know, you can really enjoy it. And as I said in the previous one, if you get one of these drinks when you're out in a bar now, or when you get to a bar, and it tastes bitter, please don't send it back. It's the way it's actually meant to taste, okay? Now here we're going to use the sweet vermouth. 1 ounce of sweet vermouth as well. We've got the Dole in here. This is a really good one as well. This makes great cocktails. It's not, or actually you could drink this on the rocks as well. It's not too sweet, and that's what that one's packed with flavour as well. All right, everything's in the glass there. All you want. Some ice to chill it down and dilute it. Let's get that in there. That should do us. Okay, let's give this a little stir then, okay? Now I have actually had, I was out, there was a bar in New York, and it was a bar that had some of the best cocktails at. I can't remember the name of it, so I'll look it up and then hopefully I can put that in the video. But I actually got the Boulevardier there, and I asked him to shake it. And it's interesting to do that because many of these drinks, when you stir it, you kind of get, when you get the flavour and you get it on your mouth, it's kind of, I'm going to use the word flat, but you know, the body of the drink changes. So when You know, it's not as though you've aerated it at all, you haven't bruised the alcohol, you know, just as you stir it, but when you shake it, the whole mouthfeel of it changes, and it changes the flavour a little bit as well. So if you want to try this one, try it shaken as well. It's a good one to actually see how the difference is between shaking a drink and actually stirring it. It's just a good way to try that and understand what the differences are when, you know, when you're asking for a cocktail, you know, versus actually making it yourself. And you know how it's meant to taste. Okay. Got that diluted, got it chilled down. Large cube, you want this to last. Wouldn't exactly call that clear ice, but you know what, it does the trick. It's cold, but you actually want, as I said before, get yourself a tray where you can make some large cubes. Controls the dilution, but keeps the drink well chilled down, and lasts for a while. Actually, I can usually make one cube last through 2 Negronis, or maybe one extra large one. All right, over ice. In we go. It's just a nice drink to pour. My ice farted there actually. A little bit of a bubble coming out the bottom of it, because it wasn't flat. Actually reminds me of some of those milk savers that you get, the little glass discs that you put in the bottom of a pan, so when you're boiling milk it doesn't boil over and it just captures the bubbles and pops it up. Useless bit of information there on that one. Alright, garnish, orange, lemon twist, cherry, whatever you want here. I've got a maraschino cherry, goes well with bourbon, and an orange twist, or just an orange on this. And in we go. That there is a Boulevardier. Nothing more to it than that. Nice and simple, if you've got the ingredients, okay? Alright. Cheers. What happens here is you've still got the campari actually coming through. Got the sweetness of the vermouth just sitting on top, and then underneath that you've got the support of the bourbon coming through. Got the tannins in that. You got the vanilla notes. You got a bit of let me think here. Almost like a bit of clove or cinnamon hanging around in there, and of course you got that just that earthy, woody sensation from the bourbon being aged there a little bit, and then just that general rounding of warmth that you get coming through from that bourbon. I must admit, this is the first time I've actually tried it with that 1.5 ratio to the bourbon. I think I like that actually. I think you just need that, you know, with the gin, you got the botanicals and the gin that all kind of marry well together. Slightly different with the bourbon, and I think that extra ½ ounce just allows the bourbon to raise up through it just a little bit more. It kind of, I'm not going to say it brightens it, but just you know it's bourbon. There's enough of it in there. It's not getting drowned out by that Campari and the vermouth. It just sits in there. Fantastic. Anyway, enough of the waffling. You know what? Enjoy your Boulevardiers. I'm certainly going to enjoy this one. Maraschino cherry, the Luxardo cherry there, maraschino cherry on this. Oh my goodness, it's just it's a great little snack as well. Just the scent of the orange coming through and that just marries all nicely together. Anyway, all right, shut the hell up. All right, cheers everybody. Enjoy your Boulevardiers, okay? Cheers.